Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today, and thank you so much for having me on Value of Words. I want to especially thank Mr. Sanjeev Chopra for putting this together. Nidhi and team, you've done such a fantastic job of having everything so smoothly put together, being in communication with us for so many months, and this wonderful digital show. I can understand the challenges that you faced, but this is really, really thrilling for me to be here. And I especially have a wonderful connection with Dehradun, and I feel so proud of Value of Words because I am from Dehradun. I'm so happy to be with you guys today. Um, I really wanted to thank Hachette for giving me the chance to write in a genre that I was not familiar with earlier. I'm a travel writer, so writing for kids was different for me. It was a bit of a challenge for me, I thought. But my editor, Nimi, Niyati, Vatsala, the illustrators, Jit and Meena, did such a fantastic job to put it all together for me, to support me, and it all came together so well that I'm really excited and I'm so grateful to them. Also, it's been such a great company. I'm so thrilled to be with names like Bijal, Mrs. Murthy, Kai, Nasera, and Sudha Dhingra. To be on the same pedestal in them, and congratulations to them as well. To have been selected in this genre as well. I want to talk a little about my time in Dehradun growing up, which is really what set the tone for me to write, or perhaps for a tiger called Machhli to even, possibly shape in my head in that age. I had the great opportunity to stay in a house, to live in a house for many years, with a huge garden in the front, the garden at the back. There was a cow shed. There were many fruiting trees. There were animals, of course, dogs after dogs, a stray pig, a snake perhaps sometimes. There were obviously certainly cows there, a cat sometimes. Just growing up with these creatures around and to be in that very nature-friendly environment must have had a very implicit effect on the head. And I think it helped me grow up to be a more compassionate or empathetic individual. And of course, I think a lot goes to my mother in shaping that thought as well, because she certainly loved animals from her young age. So I think that love for animals has obviously come down. My sister, my brother-in-law, both are passionate animal welfare, spokesperson as well. And now my husband, who loves fostering cats, and my dad, who's a good ally in all of this. It just it's a happy. It's good to know that all of us are so tuned in, and with the whole empathy for animals is concerned. I also want to speak a little about my time in Vellum, where I studied. I think you don't realize the benefits, you don't realize that how your alma mater shapes you when you're out of it so many decades later is when you really you think back to the times that you were in school. I think a lot of the narratives in school were around empathy, were a lot about compassion, and that really has helped me at least shape as an individual. So definitely wanted to point that out, that my time in Vellum was really fruitful, and I'm really reaping the benefits now. I wanted to talk a little about the making of this book. I have always been a travel writer for the last 15 years, all over India, different countries, all of that. So while I didn't travel with the intent of finding animal stories per se, but I think wherever I went over the years, I can almost say that this book has taken 15 years to really shape and to be written. Because wherever I was traveling, I think I had this filter always to look out for stories that had animals featured there, or a human connection with animals featured there. So whether it was Chhattisgarh, whether it was traveling to Jaipur or going to Wildlife SOS off Agra, I think I always looked out for these stories, and that's what gave me true joy. And when I sat down to write this book and to really think of stories that I could go back to, each story vividly came back really quite seamlessly, starting right from my solo trip to Kerala about 15 years ago, where I walked into the Anantapuram temple having no clue about Babya, which is the supposed vegetarian crocodile who was in the news, in fact, a couple of days ago. It was so nice to have those stories in the back of my mind. They must have had such an enduring effect on me that even after so many years, they featured in this book, and I'm ever so glad for that. I also want to talk not only about travels where I have gone out in search of a different story or seeking a particular animal or a connection, but even amidst us, there are people doing so much in the space. For example, I spoke to the owners of Lemon Tree hotels, and the owner and founder is such a passionate dog lover himself, and he insists that every hotel, apart from ones being near the sanctuaries and the wildlife sanctuaries, that there are stray dogs adopted, the indie dogs adopted by the hotel. Such acts of kindness are really, it's heartwarming to know, and you don't have to look so far out. There's people with kind hearts all around us, and that inspiration was great for me, and the making of this book was such an exciting journey for me. um, I really do hope that there's so many stories that have gotten left behind because there are constraints about the number of animals that we already use. If we've written a lot about dogs already, then should we add another dog story or another snake story? But I do hope that because there's so many stories left, that I do get a chance to write another one, and perhaps a volume 2 of a tigress called Machhli and other 2 animal stories of India. And I hope my young readers really, really enjoy it and be in touch with me to tell me what they felt about it. And thank you once again.